Direct your attention to the internal voice reacting to this video, the one currently commenting on the speed of these images. Your reaction to that prompt arose automatically. You didn't consciously design the thought. It simply appeared, proving that most of what we call thinking is an involuntary event. This visualization represents the 60,000 individual thoughts your brain processes daily, roughly one mental event every 1.4 seconds. But most data is redundant. 95% of these thoughts are exact repetitions of the stories you ran through yesterday. The human experience is often that of a passive listener, tuned into a relentless, looping broadcast. We live under the illusion that we are the directors of our minds, when we are actually just the audience. This mental chatter is a byproduct of an ancient evolutionary threat detection system. Your subconscious prioritizes scanning for danger, because for most of human history, missing a single threat meant death. Our biology hasn't caught up to our environment. Your nervous system reacts to stressors, like a looming deadline or a critical email, with the same physiological panic it once reserved for apex predators. Many of the fears narrated by your inner voice aren't even based on your own experiences. Epigenetic inheritance allows trauma and survival anxieties to be passed down through generations, meaning you may be playing back ancestral fears that have nothing to do with your life. Chronic overthinking is the inevitable result of identifying with this outdated biological hardware. We suffer because we treat an ancient alarm system as an accurate reporter of modern reality. Siddhartha Gautama observed that human suffering is generated by the mind's continuous argument with reality. We struggle because we want things to be different. He identified this restlessness as the monkey mind, compelled to jump between plans, dwelling on past regrets and imaginary scenarios to avoid the perceived threat of silence. But if thoughts arise and disappear independently without your command, they cannot constitute your identity. A thought is a transient event, not a permanent self. There is a structural dichotomy between the object being observed and the entity doing the observing. These peripheral shapes represent thoughts appearing in your consciousness, while the center remains the steady field of awareness in which they occur. Listening to an internal voice reveals that the listener and the voice are separate. You are the witness, not the chatter. This is known as the concept of anatta. It suggests the self we defend is a shifting process of elements like memories, cells, and moods, rather than a fixed, solid object. Think of your awareness as the sky, and your thoughts as the clouds. The clouds can be dark, stormy, or light, but they never change the fundamental, permanent nature of the sky. The sky simply allows the weather to pass through it. Access a memory of yourself at 7 years old. Since that moment, your body has been entirely rebuilt at the cellular level, and your personality has been overwritten by decades of experience. Yet the underlying consciousness that witnessed those childhood experiences is the same consciousness watching this moment. It is the one part of you that has remained unaltered. True identity is found in this timeless awareness. Recognizing this fundamental truth permanently severs the deep emotional attachment to the temporary mental weather that once dictated your life. Awakening involves stripping thoughts of their assumed truth. You don't need to silence the mind. You only need to stop believing everything it says. You can create linguistic distance to weaken the power of your internal monologue. Reframing "I am a failure" into "I am having a thought about failure" shifts the mind from being a narrator of truth to a generator of data. When you stop identifying with every mental comment, the mind transitions from a tyrannical master into an effective tool. You begin to use your thoughts for creativity and problem solving, rather than letting them use you. This shift has a direct physiological impact. When you stop perceiving your thoughts as absolute truths, your brain stops triggering the fight or flight response. As stress hormones like cortisol decrease, the body is finally able to release chronic tension and return to a state of physical balance. Inner peace remains the natural, baseline state of your awareness. It reveals itself the moment you stop believing the stories your mind tells you.